Welcome to the Krista Escamilla Show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the Krista Escamilla Show. I'm so happy that you have joined us and you're spending time with us because it's going to be a fun day. I am sitting here with one of my friends, and I am so excited for you to hear her story. Before I introduce her formally, as besides my friend, because she has so many amazing titles, I want to first of all thank our sponsors for allowing us to share the great stories of the Permian Basin. We want to first of all thank Tapestry Hotel Midland. We want to thank Rig ID Workwear. We want to thank joincapclub.com and Midland Cap Company. Thanks for allowing us to be able to share these stories and to give back to our community through local nonprofit organizations. Of course, I want to thank all of our listeners. Thank you for those 5-star reviews and for those reviews. I love being able to share those reviews in upcoming podcasts. So please keep those coming in on Apple, Google Play, wherever you like to listen or watch us. So thanks for joining us. Okay, now I get to introduce my amazing friend. Her name is Melissa.Wicker, and she is a fantastic businesswoman, which this is National Women's Month, right? So I'm so excited to have her here. She is also, first of all, a mom of 2 amazing children and wife, and she is also a branch manager and loan officer for Thrive Mortgage. So Melissa, thanks for being here. Big round of applause.
Thank you. No, thank you. This has been on our hearts for a while.
It has.
I'm so excited to be here. We've known each other for a few years.
Yes, like 23.
For a few.
Like that.
Yeah.
But our girls are best friends.
They
which
are.
Is so fantastic. We'll talk about
We'll
those
dive into
girls
that later.
But first, let's talk a little bit about just your journey. And you are a lifelong Midlander, correct?
I am.
I love that. And just an amazing businesswoman. So let's just start wherever you want to start from the beginning.
Well, I love to tell our story that I grew up most of my life in Midland. We moved back home in like 1978, but we lived in Saudi Arabia when I was a little girl.
Oh, wow.
And it was funny. I think I told my mom when we got to Midland, the roads and the dirt, everything kind of looked like when we lived in Abqaiq, Saudi Arabia, with the dirt and the camels. We don't have the camels there.
And the haboobs, when the haboobs come
yes,
in. Yes, very familiar.
My family took me from one dirt place to the next. No, all fun aside. So my mom and dad both grew up in in the oil industry. Their fathers were both in the oil industry, and so my mom moved every 2 years of her life.
Oh my goodness!
And she's lived on everywhere, but basically in America, Venezuela, South Africa, and then Saudi. And so
I know a lot of oil and gas families can relate to that.
Yeah,
yes.
Traveled a lot, and so why that's important to this story is when we moved back from Saudi, I think she kind of laid down the law, and we're not moving. I want my kids to be raised in the same spot, same place. And so we came back, and I think I started kindergarten and been here ever since. Well, I went off to school and came back, but Midland is home, and I'm so proud of Midland. It is just an amazing city. I love.
Where did you go off to school?
Texas Tech.
Red Raiders. Red Raiders.
Yes.
Wreckham. Right up the road here in Lubbock. For those of you that are from other parts of the world, as we have listeners all over the world, which is well, thank you, France, for listening. But it's right up the road. It's perfect. I think it's the perfect distance. It's an hour and 45 minutes from Midland, and Tech is such a cool school.
It is.
What did you study there?
I studied business. For a bit, and I actually studied a little bit of hotel motel management.
Okay, so fantastic.
I guess from traveling all those years, I love hotels, so I thought that was cool.
That is
cool. It was so fun, and that's actually how I got started in the mortgage industry.
Oh, great.
My sophomore year in college, I went to work for a mortgage company, but let me back up a little bit. So my mom got her real estate license in like 1981, 82, very early on. And when I was 8 years old, we went to a mortgage company. We were dropping off paperwork, and we came out of there, and Mom said, "You know what? That's what you should do when you grow up." And I was like, "Oh, okay, sure."
She planted the seed.
In Lubbock, the lady that worked here in Midland had a branch up there, and that was the first lady I worked for.
You're kidding.
So it was such a cool round,
Yes, meant to be. And I heard your mom was a rock star in the real estate world, right? She teaches now.
She's a teacher. Okay. So she is a very...
Hi, Donna.
Yeah. Funny woman and off the charts smart.
Yes.
I just am blessed beyond measure with my mom.
Yes.
Nani Sue, as
Nani
everybody
Sue.
calls her.
Yes, that's how Allie refers to her. Yes,
Yeah.
Nani Sue.
Back in the day, everybody called her Mama Gore. So anybody that remembers me from high
Yes.
school, that was what they called her. So,
Oh, my goodness.
but anyway, so that's how I started in the mortgage
love
industry, and that was in 1993. So I'm going on my 30th year in the mortgage industry.
Fantastic. Congratulations,
Yeah, thank
because you really are so good at what you do. And I've seen you. You're in it. You're such a great businesswoman, but I think it's because you're such a great people person. What do you think it has attributed to your success in the past 30 years as a businesswoman here in West Texas?
I love that. Someone asked me, like, what's your why? And I think I love to meet people. I love to meet people. That's one of my favorite things to do. I would get really excited right before school started every summer, and I'd be like, Mom, who do you think I'm going to meet? Who's going to be the new people?
I love
love to meet people. So as I reflect through the years, I think that's been a really cool thing that I love. As you know, I'm not shy.
No.
And so I love to meet people. I love to hear their story. I want to know where are they coming from? What makes their world happy or sad, or in what I do for a living, what is going to bring them joy and peace. And home for everyone has a different meaning, but home is where the heart is. To use that
For
cliche.
sure. No, it's true. It's true. And we share that 100%. I love hearing people's joy and their story, because I think we can all learn from each other's story. And because you kind of have that same spirit about you. You want everyone to live their best life and to be happy and just find the joy in what they're doing. And I love that you found it in a career that has lasted this long, because you never know when you're going to find it. You never know when it's going to hit you that this is it.
Yeah.
When did you know that this was what you wanted to do for the rest of your life?
So I have been blessed beyond measure again with a wonderful husband that.
Hi, Cody.
He when we had the kids, we took a choice, and Cody stayed at home with the kids. And when he did, he let me just flourish and became the rock behind every great person. There's someone else, for a great man or woman, and he is my rock behind me. And so I would not be where I am today without him by any means. And so
it takes a team. It truly does.
It does.
To raise a
with
family.
Al,
and I couldn't do it without Al at 100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I the kids were little. Yeah. They're 18 months apart, so we had them back to back, and I knew I needed to get the office, and he could be at home with the kids. God knew that. Yeah. He was like, she needs to be in the office. Cody's going to do much better at home with the children, and he did. He's done a great job. He has.
Yes. I just love your kids. Yeah. They're so awesome.
They're just awesome. And so I remember coming home one night stressed, and I told Cody, I love to solve the problems for people, because with my parents, I'm a product of a divorced family, and so I saw my mom struggle, and it's always been in my heart, how can I help moms, how can I help families get to that next level, whether that's talking about finance, talking about budget, talking about credit. People don't know where to go to even talk to people about stuff like that.
It's a hard topic.
It is.
It is a hard, and I want to talk more about that in a minute, because it is a hard topic for a lot of people to talk about, but you're so good at it.
Yeah, I'm like,
let's talk money.
Yeah, people are like, you just talk to people. I'm like, yeah, you don't understand. People come in and they just open up and tell me everything, and then I keep it all right in here in my heart, and
think how you can help them.
Yeah. Especially people that never thought they could buy a house before. My favorite. It's like playing golf, Al. When I go and have that one great hit a year, thankfully I have a lot more hits in mortgage than I do in golf. So,
well, that's because you're doing it every day. I bet if you were out golfing every day, you'd have a lot of good hits.
I don't know.
But let's talk a little bit about Thrive, and we're just gonna mention it, and then we're gonna take a little break. But you are now this is so exciting. You are the branch manager of a new company here in West Texas, and the loan officer of Thrive. Tell us a little bit about Thrive.
Oh, I'm excited to tell you all about this. So I was with a wonderful company before. I am excited to be at this new company, the marketing and social media aspect is off the charts. I'm kind of old, so some of this is like, ooh,
Right
I
there
didn't
with
even
you.
know you could do that kind of stuff. That's cool. And so thankfully there's people around me that know how to do that. But
Right.
Thrive Mortgage is a company that's been in business for 20 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
Their former name was Georgetown Mortgage, and then they changed to Thrive, which I love. Like
I do.
Thrive.
Well, because like when
You're
I think of you
thriving.
thriving, like you're always thriving. I love the name for your organization. I think it's
So
great.
Yes.
Yes.
We've got some great products. I'm going to unroll those soon because I'm learning. But some products I've never even seen. And again, I've been doing this so long.
Right.
It's so cool. Products
exciting.
That Midland, West Texas is going to love. And so I've got a team that's amazing, but I'm really excited to serve Midland.
Yes.
Just, again, how can I help people achieve the dream? And that's to buy a house.
That is the dream. Absolutely. And we're going to talk about some important questions about mortgage in a minute. But first, I always love hearing people, people's point of view and how they get through life struggles. And for me, it's quotes, right? I love, I'm a quote girl. And so we do something called quote of the day. So we're going to have you pull a quote out and tell me what it means to you.
All right.
All right. Which one did you get? And we have new quotes. We're coming up on a year anniversary here. These are all new quotes in here. So this is exciting.
I love it. This says helpful.
You got the helpful card. I love that because that is you. You were so helpful. Okay.
This makes me think grateful and helpful. I think those words coincide. So read it.
Yeah, go ahead and read it. If you can read my writing. If not, give it to me and I will. Here, let me throw my glasses on here.
I can throw mine on.
You got
too.
it? Okay.
Okay. Yep. You can tell we're old. When
Yes,
we both,
we just
right?
aged ourselves, but
Yep.
that's okay.
Okay. Develop success from failures. Discouragement and failure are two of the surest stepping stones to success. Dale Carnegie.
Dale Carnegie.
Love Dale Carnegie. Oh,
Don't
one of my
you?
favorites. Yes.
What does that one
yes.
mean to you? What does that mean to you?
So, well, I got sidetracked because I love Dale Carnegie so
I know,
much.
but developing success from failures.
So, I think one of the things that speaks to my heart is people that come in or people that I meet that never thought that they could go out and do what they dream about. Dream big. One of
Right.
my favorite
Dream
things.
big right here. Dream big, baby.
You and I were blessed with moms that taught us dream big.
Yes.
And so I naturally assumed everybody in life thought that way.
Right.
And then you meet people and they weren't. And so this to me means go out there, dream this, and the successes will follow. But you've got to grow. And
Absolutely.
you do grow out of the good, the bad, the ugly.
Did you have a moment through business, because as an entrepreneur and as a businesswoman, there are struggles, right? Do you have one moment, like a time that you struggled and you overcame it, that you go, oh, it happened for a reason. I'm so much better because of this, that you can think of in your 30 years?
Oh, goodness. There's so many.
I know.
So many.
That's how I'm like, which one?
Yeah. Maybe more of a positive. Back in the 2008 debacle time frame, everybody was doing like the no doc loans and the no income verification. And I found it was really important that I was going to see all of these folks at the grocery store when I go to the store, not very often, but when I go out in
Right.
public, I'm going to see these people. So it was important to me. It would have been probably more successful if I had done more of those loans, but I thought, I don't want to set these people up to fail. So I remember back in that day, it would have been 2006, 2007, thinking, this is not conducive for what they are going to do. I don't want to set them up that they lose this house in 2 years.
Right.
And
You're thinking of their
yeah,
future,
and
not your immediate future, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so that was a big game changer, which really helped, because then when it all melted and fell apart, we weren't doing a lot of those loans. So it wasn't something I was out promoting, because it wasn't in my heart to help people that way.
That's smart. I love that. That is a great lesson in
Yes.
life to
Yeah.
to really think of what is who is this benefiting, right? Is it going to benefit my client or my customer, or is it going to benefit me? You know, and I love that you saw that in that time, because it probably wasn't known what the future was at that time, right?
Yeah.
That it was
Yeah.
gonna.
Who knew?
And so.
Yeah.
I love that you had the foresight to believe like that. That's fantastic. Do you have a favorite quote that you live by?
I do.
Oh, good.
I
I
brought
can't
a
wait to
book.
hear it. Oh, I love it. Even better.
I was prepped
we love
for you.
Books. We love
So-
books here. Yay.
I read Todd Duncan, who is a mortgage cool dude in our world. We love him, and I may not be able to find it, but this book is called The Power to Be Your Best.
Oh, I love it. The Power to Be Your Best.
I just love it. And it's not just mortgage driven. It's just a
Okay.
wonderful book, but, and I won't find it, but basically all things are possible through Christ who strengthens me.
Love
It's
it.
my favorite.
Love it. Love it.
Favorite. And it's
Love
in this
it.
book. So
Happen to be wearing it right here. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Philippians 4:13. Love that. I love it when we sync up like that. I think that is so true because you have to believe in what you're doing and that it's for a bigger reason, right?
The greater good.
The greater good. I love that. Let's talk about mortgages because I mean, and Melissa and I, we've known each other for many years, but I called her randomly, like, I don't know, it might have been 10 years ago. And I had a question about my mom's, my mom's mortgage. And she was so sweet, picks up the phone, answers it like, okay, let me get that information to you. I'm going to call you right back. And she did. And I was like, that's a rock star businesswoman right there. Let's talk about mortgages because I think a lot of people have questions, right? Sure. They don't know. If you've never bought a house before, it's scary.
It is.
And money is a tricky topic. What's the most popular question that you get that you think our listeners and viewers could learn from today?
I think one of my favorite questions that I get is, I don't have 20% to put down on a house. I'm never going to be able to buy a house. I'm like, well, you don't have to have 20% to put down.
Right.
You can put minimum down, and there's several different products that have minimum down, but you don't have to have 20% down. And then we are really blessed in Midland. We have down payment assistance programs that help with some of the costs to get into the property. And with that, it's income driven, but because our area is pretty high income across the board, a lot of families get to use this product. So that's one of my favorite things to dispel very quickly. You do not have to put 20% down. You could put as little as 3.5% down. Another thing is I don't have 750 credit scores.
That's what I was going to ask. I would say, how about that credit score? I bet you get asked that a lot.
I do. And so you do not. Basically 620 is anything above that is great. Below that, there's some options, but 620 and above. And then I am not a credit counselor, but I started doing mortgages before credit scores even came out. So
not aging ourselves at all here or there.
No. People are always like they had credit before credit scores.
Right.
And so the credit score game has evolved through the years. And so I love to sit down with people and show them how to improve their scores, because some people think paying off everything improves your score immediately because you've paid it off. You don't owe anything. It's not. It wants to see how you pay back debt. It wants to know, are you paying your bills on time?
Right.
And then how much are you utilizing? So if you've got a $1,000 limit on a credit card, are you maxing that out and just paying the minimum? Well, your scores are going to stink.
Yeah.
If you have a $1,000 limit and you only owe $25 to $100, your scores are going to beam. They're gonna skyrocket. So
there's the best tip of the day on your credit right there.
It is. I mean, it's simple. I say simple. It's simple in my mind, but it's baby steps that people can do, and they don't even realize it's. Oh, so I tell people they come in and their shoulders are like this. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I can see that.
And then they leave, and I'm like, look at your shoulders, man. Look,
you're breathing
better.
again.
It's all
you're
good.
Breathing.
I just filled you up with a lot of mortgage knowledge, and you don't even know what I said, but you heard. Okay. Go find a house, so you're good.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And you heard it's going to be okay.
Yes.
What about establishing credit? We have children that are in college, right? We have freshmen that, and I don't know that this may be a thing of the past, but I remember when I was in college, there was all these people and they would be like, here, get a credit card, get a credit card. What is the best way to establish credit when you are in college?
So I like to, in my own personal opinion, I don't know if this is anywhere out there written, but my favorite thing to tell parents especially is to get kids a secured credit card.
Okay.
What
does that mean when you say secured credit card?
Great question. So what I like to encourage is that we want our kids to save some money. Let's call it $300. Maybe they work a little job and they've got this money. Instead of putting it, they can put it in a savings account, but they can take that $300. Capital One has this account. That's who we use a lot, or I suggest. They send that $300 in. That's their money.
Right.
And then they're going to charge on it like a credit card, like we normally do. But basically they're borrowing against themselves because that's their money.
Right.
And if they miss making a payment, it's going to hurt their credit. But then if they don't pay it, that's their money they lose. So it's a valuable lesson not only on how to pay back the debt, it's also a valuable lesson on you put some collateral up, you're putting some skin in the game, and if you don't make those payments, they're going to keep your skin.
And you make them pay it, not the parent.
You got it, because then
Where were you 4 or 5 years ago, Melissa, telling me this? Okay, it's never too late to learn something new every day, right?
No. And if you have no credit, Dave Ramsey's a wonderful, wonderful counselor for people, and he has some great advice out there. And then some people don't have scores, and that's one way to do it, is with a secured, and then people feel not so stressed, because a lot of people are raised to not use credit and to pay your bills off and never use, which is wonderful. I totally agree with that, but it also hinders you when you go to buy stuff, when you go to a bank, if you wanted to do a commercial loan, you've got to have those credit scores. So that's the easiest, in my theory, that's your easiest way to get the biggest bang for the buck for your score.
I love it.
And I will tell you this is probably a huge thing that I'd like for everyone to know. Credit, when we pull a mortgage credit report, that is different than what you and I can look at as a consumer report. So Credit Karma or anything that we can personally kind of look up on our phone and self-monitor our scores, those credit scores are different than the mortgage credit report I pull.
What?
And so I always get people...
How do you get them in sync?
You don't.
You don't.
There's like 5 different types of mortgage, 5 different credit reports across the country, like a car credit report, a mortgage credit report, and others. And so we look at all 3 bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, and then Credit Karma looks at 2 others. But that's consumer score, and mine's a little more in depth, a little more. So people get really discouraged. They think, oh, I got 620 on Credit Karma, and then they come to see me and it's 600. But that's okay. We've got some tools that we can kind of look at. Well, if we wait 6 months, this is where your score is going to be. So don't be discouraged. If your Credit Karma score shows something and you go to apply for something else, just the government has it set up that way.
Should somebody come see you before they want to buy a house, or should they go see the realtor before they buy the house?
Oh, I think whatever their comfort level is. Some people have a great relationship with an agent, and then they'll send them over, or they have a great relationship with a lender, and then we'll send it back to, through 3. I always like to give out names so that they can see. I'm like, you're going to be riding in the car a lot more with them than you are with me.
That's
so
true.
You're going to see me once or twice.
Well, I was going to say once in the beginning and then once in closing, right? That's about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So make sure you have that good relationship with your realtor, but also it's great that you can answer those financial questions. Not that the realtor can't. Realtors are so well versed. I love our realtors here in town. I want to say hi to them all. They're so fantastic. You and I are both friends with many of them, and you work closely with them day in, day out. But I think that's important to have that good relationship with them.
Agreed.
And I love how you all work together. I think that is amazing for the greater good of them buying their dream home. What if you had some advice right now to somebody that is like, okay, we want to buy a house in the next year. What is the first thing you want them to do before they even go look at that house?
So I'm a big believer in budget, and so I like to trick my mind a lot. So first-time home buyers, second-time home buyers, what I think is really super cool is, let's just say you're paying a $1,500 a month rent right now, or a mortgage, and you want to move up into another price range. You need to get with a lender and look at what those payments are going to look like. So let's say you move into a $300,000 price range. Well, your payment's going to go from $1,500 to, let's call it $2,400. Okay. And so maybe you get in a little payment shock. You're like, holy smokes, that's a lot. It's a lot different.
Yeah.
How do I do that, Melissa?
Yes.
So I encourage people, if you want to see what you think you could qualify for, put what the difference is between a payment and a mortgage payment going up into a savings account and trick your brain. So if you can put $200, $400, or $500 up every month,
smart.
One, you're going to build money for the down payment over here, but then you can figure out, oh, hey, we're okay. This works. I'm okay with this kind of payment. Or you can be like, oh gosh, there is no way. 1,800's it. We can't go any higher than that. That tells me that you've that you've really thought through what you're going to buy, and then it just, you're going to feel more confident in the process.
Love that. Good advice. Good advice. We're sitting here today with my friend, an amazing businesswoman. She is the branch manager and loan officer for a new company here in West Texas. Once again, she is not new to West Texas. She has been rocking the mortgage world for 30 years, but it's called Thrive Mortgage. And we have a lot more questions coming up. But first, it's time for what we call Question of the Day. Ding, ding, ding. I feel like confetti should fall. Okay. Let's see which card you pull out.
All right, let's see. Okay. Smart
card, because you're so smart. We just heard how smart she is.
I don't know about that.
I was like, wow, I just learned like all these nuggets about credit and mortgages. Okay.
All right. What is a challenge or conflict you faced, and how did you deal with it?
Ooh,
okay.
Okay.
Let's see here.
Good one. Good one.
So, challenge, of course, is learning social media for me, like technology. I'm a nerd in the mortgage world because that's all I study is mortgage stuff. But you get me outside of my expertise, social media. This podcast room is amazing.
Thank you.
It's just
fun. It is fun.
Yeah.
But it's a little scary at first, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Because we did not grow up with cell phone. We had beepers. Remember the beepers?
Exactly.
Aging ourselves again.
Yeah.
But when I first moved here to West Texas, had the beeper, right? Or pager.
Yeah.
We call them beepers, pagers.
Yeah.
So technology has changed so much in those years.
Yeah.
Computers, social media.
Yeah.
So how have you embraced the challenge,
Well,
Melissa?
I'm doing better. So as you know, Shelby Kate made me start that wonderful Instagram account, the Melissa Style.
Which I love because she dresses adorably.
Fun.
I mean,
I love to dress.
I love your clothes.
love to
Every day I'm
dress.
like, oh, can't wait to see what she's wearing. And
So
you can follow
fun.
her at Melissa Style.
Like you can, but you're going to see that I have not posted since Christmas because Shelby Kate's making me do it by myself. She's the one that has been writing all the verbiage for me all this time. I just provide the pictures.
I love it.
And so it's a challenge.
But she'll be back in the summer, so we'll get to see your daily outfits again.
It's terrible. I'm so I can run a multi-million-dollar business, but Instagram and stuff kind of shaped. I'm almost scared.
I know. I understand.
So-
It is scary at first, but don't embrace it. You just got to jump out there and do it. So I love that she's encouraging you to do that.
There you go.
What have you learned the most? So Shelby Kate and our daughter Allie, they're best friends. What have you learned the most from parenting? You have a son and a daughter. What is the number one thing you've learned the most from parenting?
Oh gosh, number one, there's so much.
I know. I feel like I learned and still do learn something new from them every day, especially when they were growing up and just seeing them and their challenges and what and overcoming things. So
yeah, it's interesting to see what you miss when they leave when they're freshmen, and of course the other ones, they're going way far off, and
Ole Miss,
hotty toddy. I think the thing that I loved about growing up and with the kids is Cody did such a great job. Their manners, they're polite. But I love that both my kids are, they walk in a room and they'll talk to anyone, just like your kids.
They know who they are.
Yeah. Like I attribute that to Cody. They just see me talking all the time.
They got a little bit from you, Mom. So it takes a team for sure.
It does.
But I love that. And that they do. Your kids are both, they're very, you can tell they're very confident in who they are. Yes. And I love that because I think that's our job as parents, is to send them out into the world and to know, of course they're going to discover more of who they are. But to walk out and have that confidence to walk into a room, introduce themselves. Yeah. I remember when our kids were little, they would be like 2 and 3. I'd be like, you go put your hand out and introduce yourself to like those are important things to learn.
Look them in the eyes.
Look them in the eye. They're going to have to do that the rest of their life. Yeah. And so I love that you recognize that in them and learn that from them. That's beautiful. All right. I have so many questions. I'm not sure where to go next. I love it. I want to talk about being a businesswoman entrepreneur because a lot of people, I want to see everyone follow their dream. If you have a dream right now that you're thinking, I want to do it, but I don't know how. I've been at this job for 10 years and I don't know how to make that transition or start something new. What advice would you give them to get started?
Well, I'm gonna share that something that's been a part of my world. Alan and Krista, they know about this in me, that I have done the Hard 75 program for the last 3 years. I only have 9 more days left. Go, Trisha and Ashley. We've got this.
You can do it. You can do it. You're in the home stretch.
But the Hard 75 program has taught me so much. It's given me grit. It's given me strength. It's given me perseverance. I had those things, but it's really cool. It's brought it all kind of like bubbled up. And so I think about things so differently than I did 5 years ago.
Before you started
Before I started doing, and maybe 3 years ago, listening to podcasts, reading. It's funny, you read, but I hadn't read a lot since high school.
Right. And this makes you have to, what is it, an hour a day?
Yeah, you read 10 pages from a nonfiction book.
Okay.
You work out 2 times, one outdoors and one indoors, 45 minutes each. Drink a gallon of water. Go on some sort of diet.
I'm going to take a sip of mine while you're saying that.
And no alcohol for 75 days. And then you have to take a picture of yourself. And oddly enough, that's a hard thing to do, because you got to remember to take a picture of yourself every day.
Oh, every day?
Every day.
That would be hard.
It's just to watch your growth and your mindset. And so Andy Frizzelli is the man that created it, and he has a podcast. It's got a lot of language, just prepping you if you watch it.
What's it called?
It's the AF Andy Frizzelli show.
Okay, it's the Andy Frizzelli show. I'll have to look it up. I love that.
And
I was going to ask you your favorite podcast. So
well, and Ed Milet is actually one of my favorite, and
Okay.
he and I do like Jay Shetty. And I've learned that through this. I'd never listened to podcasts. I'm a podcast junkie now.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm
I
like,
love
oh,
it.
this is so cool.
It is cool. I love podcasts.
Yeah,
so it is.
You get to
It's
learn so much, and again, I get to meet new people every day.
fun. Right. I love that.
I get to hear it through a podcast. So,
Yes,
so as a business person and learning, how to maneuver, you got to visualize it. You've got to manifest. I'm a big believer in having the big vision and the big idea. Shauna at my office, she hates it when I come to the office the next morning. I'm like, Shauna, I have the best idea. And she's like, yeah, gosh, this involves me, and we're going to have to do something big. I'm
You
like,
sound like my husband. He's always got an idea, and I'm like, okay, what is it?
Ready.
Let's
Ready.
do it.
Let's roll up the sleeves.
What are we doing now?
What do we got?
I love that.
I'm always creating ideas. There's just not enough of me to put them all out there. So
I understand.
yeah,
So Hard 75. So you would recommend anyone to do Hard 75?
I think it's fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that. And I think it's something you should not be afraid of, because I think when you read it, you go, can I do all this?
Yeah.
How am I going to do this?
Yes.
Right. But once you get started, you've done it how many years now?
3.
I love it.
Yeah. And it's a mental challenge.
Yeah.
Some people think it's a fitness challenge. It's really not.
Mental.
Because I walk around my backyard for 45 minutes at night, but how cool that you kind of decompress.
Yes.
Your drive home, that's kind of.
You decompress. Absolutely.
So it's great.
Have you had a mentor in your life that has made a difference?
I have. I several. But when I started with Pioneer Mortgage in 1994 or 95, Frida Goodrum was here in Midland, and she taught me everything I know about the mortgage industry. And I'm so very grateful, because technology through the years has changed, but I can do everything by hand. And so a lot of people that I've witnessed grow in the mortgage industry, they know how to do it by the computer, but they don't know the why behind it.
Yes.
And I know that, again, thankfully, she taught me the why behind everything, why we have to do it this way, why do we prepare things this way, because some people have just jumped in the computer side of it. So I'm forever grateful for her.
Is that something you would suggest to someone that maybe wants to start, and get in the mortgage industry, or maybe,
Yes.
become a realtor, or maybe, whatever business it is, maybe open their own bakery, whatever it is, would you encourage them to get a mentor?
I would encourage you to get the mentor, and then I would encourage that you learn every part of that business. So if you're a baker, read the E-Myth book, learn how to be an entrepreneur, so that you're not just making and delivering pies. You need to know the finance part of it, the management side of it. That's a great book by Michael Gerber, I believe, who wrote that.
I have not read that, and I really feel like I need to, because I've had 2 or 3 people tell me about the email, and I'm like, how have I missed this book?
Yeah,
but
it's a great book.
I'm going to put it on the list.
But it, especially starting out, you're really talented at something,
right?
And you may not be so talented on these other things, so you've got to be prepared for stuff.
Right.
So I encourage, when I have people on my team as new people, I want them to know, come sit and they need to sit in and listen to how I talk to an applicant. I want them to sit on the closing side so they can hear the closing portion of it. I want them to sit with a real estate agent. I love for real estate agents to come to my office just so they can hear what we're asking and talking about. Because when we're all on the same page, I think it helps. But learn the basics for whatever you're doing, that you know a little bit about everything, or the people that work with you, your team, that they all know what everybody cohesively is doing, because then it just makes the customer experience that much better.
Great advice, no matter what business you're in.
Yes.
That is great advice.
Yeah.
Okay, we'd like to do something called favorite things. So tell me your favorite things. You already just told us a book. Do you have any other books? Favorite book?
Oh, goodness. I do love this book.
Let's say that one again.
This one is
The
Power to Be Your Best by Todd Duncan.
Love it.
You can see it's like old, and I've had it probably 25 years.
I'm kind of old school. I love this. I love the look and feel of the book, and I love the old school books.
It's so great.
It is great.
Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Good one.
Such a great book. And I the podcast, I love that. That's some of my favorite things.
Movie. Do you have a favorite movie?
The Holiday.
Oh, it's so cute.
I love that movie.
That is a good movie. Favorite restaurant in West Texas?
Oh, goodness. I love Venetia's. It's one of my favorite places.
So good.
Just the ambiance.
Yes.
And, I love that.
The wine's not bad.
Yeah. No, really, that's not.
It's not bad at all.
Let's talk about that in 10 days, because I'm not
That's
doing
right.
carbs or alcohol right now.
No carbon right now. We'll talk about it in 10 days. We'll go celebrate there.
Yeah, I
That's
guess
what we need to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Favorite memory of West Texas?
Oh, So my father trained cutting horses when I was in junior high. And so out past Greenwood, when I was little, we would go out there and he would do the training, and I would go out and brush the horses, French braid their tails. My grandparents, we had a farm and a ranch growing up. I thought everybody did, and because that's the only place we went on vacation, so I thought that's what everybody did. So our family ranch has been in our family since 1917. Wow. My grandmother was born on the ranch, raised out there, and then she became a very prim and proper English teacher librarian. But she was saucy. She actually, this is crazy, she won a bull riding contest in Brutales, New Mexico. She beat all the boys, but she had a suede red outfit on, and she did not want to fall off that bull and ruin her outfit.
I love it. I see where you get your style. I see where you get your style.
Now it's all connecting,
I love
right?
it. Yes.
So I was raised around horses and ranching, and my father's side of the family farmed and cattle, and so those are my favorite memories growing up. New Mexico, Texas, was being at the farm and the ranch and being just around dirt. Yeah.
You learn something new every day about your friends when you sit here in the podcast chair.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Melissa loves ballet.
I do.
What's your favorite ballet to see?
Nutcracker is my favorite.
I knew it.
As we're filming today, Regional Dance America is in town right now, and
at the Wagner, correct?
Yes, tonight, tomorrow, or Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and I was kind of thinking how to describe this to people. If you remember back in the day when the basketball team, the Dream Team, the Olympic Dream Team.
Yes, I do remember.
Those are the type of people that are in our city right now in the ballet world.
So cool.
And that's pianists to dancers to just choreographers.
Yes,
we are.
I love it.
This is huge for West Texas. So.
I love it. All right, what else do I have here? Okay. we are getting close to finishing, and I don't want to. I could do this all day long. I really could. We could. What was that? I know you can come back another time.
For sure.
That's right.
I love that.
But in closing, I always like to ask you 2 questions. The first one is, what is your favorite nonprofit that you would like us to make a donation on our show's behalf?
Sure. Well, I am actually the president of Safe Place this year.
Oh, wonderful.
And Safe Place is near and dear to my heart. We have a new facility that's being built. If you've probably driven by it on Andrews Highway.
Yes.
And so that should be opening up later this year. But domestic violence is very important to me. Women, empowering women to get out there and make a difference for themselves and their families, to get out of those situations.
Yes.
But those ladies actually empower me and drive, just how grateful I am to witness how strong women can be.
And she does not just talk the talk, she walks the walk. You have been on so many boards in West Texas and changed the lives of so many people. And I didn't even know you were on Safe Place board until today. I mean, like, I know you've been in Symphony and like so many others. So that is so wonderful that you're doing that. Because you and I are both huge believers in women empowerment. You have, go out and be the best that you can be and live your best life and do what is best for you and your family. And I love that you're doing that for Safe Place. So
thank you.
Wonderful. That's where we'll send our donation. And in closing, is there anything you were like, okay, I'm going to sit in Krista's, podcast chair. I want to make sure I get this out. And maybe we didn't talk about it yet. Is there anything you want to talk about in closing?
You know what? I'm so grateful that our girls are best friends.
I
It's
am
brought us
too.
closer.
I
I think
am
that's
too.
probably, if I could just, God's good.
God
and
is
put us
good.
together, and
Yes.
our girls are just amazing girls. And
Hi, Shelby, Kate, Allie.
hi, Allie.
Shout out to all the other siblings
Yes,
too. Y'all
yes.
are all
Y'all
amazing.
are all
and we
great.
love you all so
Yes,
much.
yeah.
But our girls' friendship, it really has. It's brought our families closer, and I love that because I
Yeah.
get to see you a lot more, and we get to share time together.
Yeah.
And I think that when you find that you have many best friends in your life, right? Or several. Like what do they say? 5 on your hand.
Yes, 5.
In your lifetime. If you have 5, you count 5, you're very blessed. And I'm so grateful they found each other and they can
Yes.
count each other as their 5 because those are memories and friendships that last a lifetime.
Agreed.
So,
Agreed.
I love that. So
yeah.
let's end on that note.
Yeah.
I love that. And I thank you for sharing your time today, Melissa. You are just amazing. Keep doing what you're doing. You make such a difference in not only the business world, the nonprofit world as well.
you.
And just as one of our amazing community members. How can people find you on social media?
Sure.
I don't know if the Thrive accounts are up yet. Or
They
have
are
you,
Thrive
okay.
Mortgage Midland, I
Okay.
believe. See, I don't
No,
know.
nope, that's
But
all
we
right.
have a Thrive Mortgage Midland Facebook
Okay.
and an Instagram.
Yay!
So they're out there.
I love it.
But look online; those are out there. Thank you, Ashley, for setting those up.
And we wish you continued
Yes,
success
thank
in
you.
Thrive Mortgage. If you have any questions, give her a call.
Yeah.
She is always open and helpful, and you want to close your house with her. That's all I'm saying.
thank
You
you.
want to do it.
Thank you.
We want to thank, of course, Melissa, thank you,
Yes,
and I
thank you.
appreciate you and love
Grateful
you so
for
much.
y'all.
And I want to thank our sponsors, and we want to thank Tapestry Hotel Midland, Rig ID Workwear, JoinCapClub.com, and Midland Cap Company. Please support those local businesses. We want to support all local businesses. Shop local. Let's be hyper local and just really encourage each other to support each other's businesses, because these are the people that you're friends with, you go to church with, you shop at the grocery store with, you are at soccer fields with, and we just want to do all we can to support local. So thank you for your time today. Please share this podcast with someone you love, someone that may need a little encouragement, that maybe could learn something today. That's what our podcast is about, is learning and growing together and encouraging and supporting. And if you have a dream that you're not sure you should start, just call us. We will be your biggest
talk.
cheerleaders.
We love to meet people.
Yes, we love to meet people. We know that you can do it, and we want you to remember to dream big, believe, and never give up. You make it a great day. Bye.